Okay. So let me just make sure this is all running, and it looks like it is. Okay, so it's been a minute since I did a video or anything. The videos themselves, they're really time consuming, and I'm still working on some of them, but it's just a lot easier to stream. I never thought I would really get into it, but it's just, you just turn on the camera and you just do it, right? So, um, but anyway, so I've been doing some research on some different things. I'll probably release them through the Patreon. Um, and specifically, I've been looking at um, the whole VTuber community and tools that are being used to do live broadcasts. And for me, it's a way where I can sort of continue looking at things like avatar creation, um, other types of optimization, like skills that you would use in a virtual platform like VRChat, or um, when we used to do it in high fidelity or something like that. But in this case, it's being used to do different types of live broadcasts. So, if you're familiar with this, I don't have to explain it, but for everyone else, you do have, oh wait, let me switch it here. You do have, here we go. So you have the 2D VTubers, so that's folks that are just using their webcam and they have like a 2D like a avatar. Usually it's like an anime avatar. Um, you've got folks who are doing that with a 3D avatar, and they're still using the webcam, and they're using the mouth to move the different sort of visemes and stuff, and the blend shapes, and then they've got sometimes people have like the Tobii eye tracking and all that. But then there's folks who do this completely in VR, and they're using either VRChat or one of several other apps, or they're using what I'm using here, which is VirtualCast. And um, I don't know why it took me so long to check this out, but once I realized the features that they've built into here, it just kind of made sense to jump in and look at this, because it's got a lot of nice things that you'd have to reinvent the wheel for otherwise, if you wanted to set up like a custom stream. Now, what I do like is that it is tied to a lot of the other services. So if you do have accounts on these Japanese VTuber websites, you can upload your content and then easily have it all licensed, which whether or not that actually stops people from downloading avatars and using them in other ways, it at least gives some level of comfort to creators, because um, you can attribute you can have your attribution, your license, your terms as a creator as to what you want folks to use your avatar for. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's nice to see some kind of certification um, with the digital file. It's like a DRM, but one that the creator has the power to kind of put on there. So yeah, again, I didn't really think I'd ever get to the point where I appreciated something like that, but as a creator, it's nice to kind of have some kind of, I guess, control over what you're putting out there. So I'm going to switch over, and I just played around with this earlier, so um, this is kind of just going to be a test stream for me to figure things out. If you want to test this with me, let me see if I can remember the hashtag. So apparently there's a way where you can use hashtags through Twitter, and folks can like type a tweet to you, and then it'll show up on the screen, and that'd be really fun to play around with. So let's see if I can set that up real quick here. Let's see. I wish I could full screen that, but so yeah, I don't know. This is really interesting to me, seeing as how things have really changed in the past, several weeks. So okay, we're gonna test this out. I don't know if there's a way to like stop folks from like abusing this, but if you are watching, then I guess that's better than no one watching, right? Oops. Okay, just bear with me one sec. I'm not really sure where I want to put this thing. Outline. Changes to 5, 10, 15. Done. Okay. So I'm going to switch over, and then we're going to see some of these features together, and maybe we'll both learn something. Okay, so here you can see me in my studio. This is just one of the models that it comes with. Let me move this camera over here. So I fully intend to make my own, probably not in anime style, but yeah, that's just kind of what is the normal thing you'd see on a service like this. I'm gonna put this up here. Actually, I wish it could kind of like sit on your head or something, because it's really in the way. Maybe there's a way to kind of snap things to you, but I haven't figured out what that is. So if you are on Twitter, I'm gonna move this up a little bit actually. If you're on Twitter, you can use that hashtag to see your tweet on screen, and then it will pop up. So someone please tweet at me, and let's see if this actually works. Actually, I'll do it myself. Why not? Okay, so I just sent myself a tweet. Let's see what happens here. Nothing at all. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I have to enable it. It's interesting that you guys can see my menu there. Maybe that's something I have to adjust here. So the tweet settings, no images available to be posted. Okay, that's just for me. Comment settings, raining comments on Twitter, and then we will do raining discs from Twitter. I don't know what that is, but we'll enable that as one or the other. Okay. Wait, that's raining images from Twitter. I'm about to get real crazy here. Okay. So I don't see anything yet. Let's try it one more time. add like an image this time. I want Waka Flocka in here, so we'll do. Oh, there we go. I don't know, this is just me, so I guess that's... So it's working. So if you tweet at me and you use that hashtag, it'll spawn things in this space. Show items. What does that say? Send to... Oops. Show comment cards, raining images, raining discs. Let me try one more. Let me try actually commenting on this here. So how's everyone doing? Did you get your stimulus check? Because I sure didn't. I don't know what happened. I feel like I was super on top of all of this, and I I filed everything I had to. I did my taxes super early, and I what I did get was the EIDL. So if anyone out there isn't familiar, that's part of the first um, business relief packages, and you could apply for it and get up to 10K for your small business, including um, self-employed people. So I don't know, they didn't really give information about how they would pick what people received, and I didn't expect to get anything because I didn't get like a confirmation or anything like that. But I actually did get some money from that. But what I didn't get was my hold on, this is like creating feedback. What I didn't get was my stimulus, the 12K or the $1,200. So I don't know what happened. I filed the taxes, I have my updated address, and just last night I signed up on the IRS website just to make sure, just because I'm not trying to get like a check 12 weeks from now or whatever. It's gonna like, that's insane to me. But yeah, so, and the PPP, they ran out of money for that, and my bank requires you to have like a business relationship with them as of, you know, since February or something, which I never did. So even though I technically did receive money as a contractor, in their eyes it doesn't count as um, being a business, which is kind of shitty. So after all this, I'm definitely going to switch banks. I still have my bank from a different state, but um, I'm not. I'm just going to like split it up and have one of the bigger banks, and then probably keep a smaller sum in the other one or something. I don't know. But if you got your money, then great. I'm super happy for you, and I hope there's more where that came from. Okay, so let's see if that spawns a tweet here. There it is. Nice. Now I am using, oh, here we go. And then, whoa, the actual letters fall down as well. It does kind of like glitch out a little bit, and I don't know if that's because I'm using the quest link or something, um, but yeah, whenever something does spawn, I guess that's my way of knowing that something's coming in. So anyway, let me check if there's any comments on here. Let's see. So far, I really like this software because it kind of has everything you need. You can see everything. Like you could do this using several other software, but you just kind of have to have more than one thing running. It's kind of annoying. Hey Lisa, what's up? So I'm using what is this called? VirtualCast. It's a Japanese VR streaming software, and it's pretty good. I mean, they've got the English version fully translated, and there's a lot of features. You can actually also do like multiple people and do a show. So as opposed to having like VR chat and trying to set up some kind of custom environment in VR chat to do this in, you can do it here. The only caveat is you have to have a VRM avatar, but you know they do have a lot you can pick from. You can also buy some if you want. Um, I plan on making one, but probably not, again, not in this anime style. I want something a little bit different. Let's check out some of the things you can spawn in here. So this looks like it's specifically for the dry erase. Let's see if I can get that in here. I like I like their UI. It's very oops. It feels like what's that movie with Tom Cruise? Minority Report. One thing I don't like that much is the turning in this. It's like based on the joystick. It feels different than what I'm used to. I don't really like it that much. But let's see how well this works. Okay, so I don't have to. Wow, that's really finicky. Um, well, I give them props for having this. I think what this needs is instead of having it where, oops, where it automatically writes, I think you should have to press down on this um, in order to be writing because it just doesn't feel like it's made proper contact. Someone just spawned a comment? No, okay, just glitching out. All right, so if I did like smiley face or something. Also, it's kind of weird because the more, like the way it does the width of this is, the more it seemed like it was like the more your pen is in there, the wider it is, which is weird. If they had some kind of smoothing, I think that would make more sense because it's really hard. Either I have like really shaky hands um, or the quest tracking is messed up or something. I don't know. Could be either or. Oh wait, let's try locking it. And let's try again with this pen. I wonder, let me know, anyone watching, does it look like it's glitching out on the stream every now and then? Do you see like the world shake, or is that just on my end? Okay. No, this is still kind of shaky. It's a less shaky because I'm not holding both of them, but what else do we have in here? We've got squeaky hammer. We gotta have a squeaky hammer. What else do we have here? We've got a microphone. So that's kind of cool. You can also change the room background. So, well, actually, let me change the, excuse me, the avatar just so you can kind of see. Really nice shader animation. And boom. Bring it down a little bit. Wow, I've got a business suit and everything. Look at that. Let's check the comments here. Let's see. Okay. So anyway. All right. I do like that these Vroid avatars. I like it as a format, like as a standard format for avatars. I think it's important that it exists. I think that okay, so I've got a caller on the line, and unfortunately I can't take this right now. But anyway, but yeah, I like that there's like a standard format. I think it's a good thing to have. I wonder if there'll be others, or if VRM will be kind of like the de facto, because FBX, relying on FBX to be like the avatar model standard, it's not really, it's kind of like, we need something newer, right? And while VRM models do have their limitations, I think sometimes having limitations is good. You're able to get things that multiple platforms can rely on for the sake of optimization and knowing that files are safe and that they're not being stolen and things like that. I think that's a really good way to kind of create some sort of standards, basically. So, but again, I think there's always room for other things. So if I'm not really about gatekeepers, but if someone wanted to create some other kind of like a more open standard or something like that, whatever, that's great too, as long as it has features that everyone's looking for. So it just glitched out again. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. So anyway, that's my little soapbox there. So what else do we have? We've got different rooms that we can go into. This is the wireframe. I'm not really sure yet what format the rooms are in. I thought at first that they were just going to be like images, kind of like a panoramic 360 or something, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like maybe you can actually upload, maybe it is FBX, right, for the backgrounds, who knows. I haven't looked at the documentation yet. So we've got a black grid, a box studio again, so a little bit of glitching on my end. We've got the magic library, we've got the chroma key. So if I do chroma key, let's see what happens here. Nothing. Oh, there we go. So if I do chroma key and we have this green here, then I don't think I can set it up just yet, but on OBS I would have to switch it out. So let's see. Got this one. We're going to add a filter. We're going to add a filter called color key. And we're going to smooth it out a little bit. And then we're going to open, oh boy, the other desktop maybe? Maybe a picture. I'll add a picture in here. Or no, I'll add a video. Media source. There we go. Okay, oops. Cancel. Okay, so let's see what I can throw up on here real quick. Do we have anything interesting? Let's just add this desktop. Let's add this thing on there. Alright, so bear with me, I'm going to turn off this. And why is it not playing? Huh. Okay, well, I'm not going to waste everyone's time with that. Again, this was a test stream, so yeah. If you're watching, don't expect anything sensational. But yeah, so you've got the chroma key going on, something you'd want to set up beforehand, and right now I'm holding, you can't see it because I turned it off, but I'm holding a kind of like a camcorder. So the cool thing is, if you did have someone else in here, you could have someone being like your camera person, which I think that really changes up the game once you have a dedicated person for the production, then you have your talent. And there's some people that can do both, but I think having a team makes it a lot more professional. I'm going to change the background here. Kind of like how it spawns in. Apologies for all the noise. I've got like a really busy intersection over here. So let me give you a tour of this studio, just so you can kind of see this environment. It's pretty neat, isn't it? It's like, I think one of the great things about this is that you, when you're doing the stream, you're doing it within an optimized environment versus trying to load up a whole virtual world and streaming from within it. You could do that. I don't know. I haven't done tests to see like what's the most efficient on my machine. Um, but it's just kind of cool that they've built all these features in for people who want to do like live streams in this way. So if I press the trigger, I can change from this camera that I'm holding back to this kind of forward-facing camera. I'm actually sitting down, so I guess it accounted for that. There's also, in here, let's see, we've got a tracking camera. So this one kind of has like a different vibe to it. It's really, it's supposed to like follow you or something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it kind of keeps you in focus at all time, which is useful. Sometimes I forget that these buttons are, oh wait, a comment. What's up, man? So for those of you who don't know, Godfrey, aka Boombox Head, one of the great artists and creators in the multiverse. Um, you know, we can talk about production in VR. We can talk about blockchain art. Uh, this is someone that I'm really looking forward to checking out their studio, and I'm kind of like honored that I got a comment here. Yeah, I really like if you're still watching this, your production reel I think is really cool, um, and yeah, I think it'd be nice to see more types of programming done in VR. I haven't spent as much time in VR chat despite having all the gear, for the past couple of years, but um, once you move past the memes and the lore and the kind of stuff that's specific to the VR chat community, I think there's a lot more you can do as far as storytelling and um, interviews and news or whatever you want to do, music videos that could appeal to a lot more people. I think sometimes it's just kind of like the format of what people are shown might give them a certain impression about whether it's for them, and I think that's kind of it's a quick way to lose sight of what's out there. So anyway, that's this camera. So let's check out the other one. Got the tracking camera, got the camcorder. So there's a switching camera. So this one's cool because it does all the switching for you. It kind of just pops up in different areas. Looks like I'm doing like the news. The one thing I don't like is that it's kind of random. So I wish there was a way to kind of set it where it just popped up in front of you versus behind you, and I wish there was a way to set up um, the places where it spawns at. Okay, there's another little glitch there. Again, that could just be my machine. I'm not sure. Now, I'm really curious if there's anyone out there watching from Neos. I'm just going to switch to this camera here. Oops. If anyone's watching from Neos, I wanted to ask this question in the stream, but yesterday's stream, but it was like a beginner stream, so I didn't want to derail the conversation. But I'm really curious if there's a way in Neos using logics or something else, and I'm sure there is. Get rid of this floating camera. Okay. So I'm really curious if there's a way to set up an environment like this within Neos, where your comments and things would pop in using the Twitter API or the Twitch API, and you could interact with them in the same similar kind of way. Because I've seen what Neos does with Twitch and how people typing commands in Twitch can affect what's happening in the game. So I'm assuming that that's possible. If anyone out there is watching this, FruitCS or someone else who has that programming, wizardry, I'd love to see that kind of feature as a content creator. I think it would really, it'd be really neat. And then you wouldn't need necessarily to use this software. You could still use Neos and stream within Neos if you want. But before I realized that that was happening using this software, I thought it was some kind of like custom, I don't know, something using a whole custom setup. I found like a YouTube channel by some like a Japanese company, and they had the comments falling down and raining down, and I didn't realize what they were using at the time, but I'm pretty sure that could be done in Neos. Someone, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but the reason why I think it would be cool to see that in Neos is because of how much you could customize it beyond just what's happening here. So in here you have like the comments falling down, and you've got the images spawning and all kinds of stuff. But what if you could take it further, right? What if you have complete control over what that looks like? If there's particles attached to those comments or something else, that's why I'd like to see what Neos could do with it. So what else do we have in here? I kind of like this avatar. Just gonna say. Cat boy. Let's turn into a cat boy. Let's see. Oh no. I am too small. Okay. I can't even reach that. My head is so big I can't even stand close to the camera. This is not a good avatar for close-ups, I guess. Wow, why does he have two tails? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, anyway, I'm not that tall in real life, but being this much shorter actually gives me a little bit of, makes me feel a certain kind of way. I don't like that. Let's see, let me just check what's going on in the chat. Art eyeball. Okay. So let's see what else they have in here. Actually, I'm gonna switch because I can't do these hands. I'll make it. Let's try out some of these other ones here. So the thing is, while this does require the VRM, avatar file type, I have seen some tutorials where you can convert VR chat avatars, or sorry, VRM. Wait, let me think what I'm saying here. You can convert regular VR chat FBX avatars to VRM. You do lose some of the materials, and the bones are a little bit different. You have to rig them in a different way, but I think that might be the route I go, just so that I have more to play with, instead of just having this kind of look, like the same anime look. Just very curious what different styles they have here. So here you have one that's obviously, this is not a VRM model, or not like a traditional one made with Vibroid, but they must have brought in something made in, I don't know, what's your guess? I think, is this like a DAZ model? I'm not familiar with DAZ, I haven't really used it. I know what it is, but I haven't spent time in it too much. But that's my guess. This one here. Yeah, this one's a little bit more stylized. Yeah, and I think it's fine not to have the straight up like anime thing. There's a lot more flavor you can add to it, I think. Okay, so there's a mosaic here that you can add. Again, I don't know how you attach things, but interesting feature to have in a virtual broadcasting software. I wonder if that's like a cultural thing, or maybe they just thought if you were doing a broadcast and you wanted to protect someone's identity, their virtual identity, you could kind of have a mosaic going on here. You can change the roughness of it too. Wow. Drop it down. Yeah, the UI, it's really smooth. One of the things I really like about this, I've tried to use the VR chat built-in camera, and I'm probably too much of like a novice to actually grasp how to actually use that thing. But it doesn't really seem that intuitive to me. I like Godfrey's setup, boombox head. I like your actual physical camera rigging, camera operation station, like you'd have in the real world. I think that makes a lot of sense. I wish VRChat would adopt something like that. There's probably some other kind of plugins. I've seen some kind of stuff like that, but we've got, oh wow, cue cards. I guess public can't see these, but there's a giant thing in front of me. Let's see if I can make it visible here. No. Okay. Well, it's like a notepad in front of you. That way you can have cue cards and write things, which I guess that's cool. Although with the way that this pen works in here, I think it'd make a lot more sense to just have um, cue cards that you would type. Maybe that's in the settings that I haven't seen yet. You've got sending video to, oh, you can play Nico videos, okay. So I've got a Nico account. Okay, someone's calling me. John wants you to join a call. I don't know how to play the videos though. Like, how do you type what you're searching for? Anyway. Got light sources, we got a mirror, we can show you my other screen. I already have that set up. Laser pointer. What else do we have here? Sometimes, okay. Sometimes it's really smooth, other times it's kind of not. Got this thing, which I guess is like kind of like used for reactions. We're playing some kind of game or something with the audience. What I wish this had is the ability to switch without having to turn the wrist, you know? I wish I could just press a button and it would flip from one side to the other. It's kind of annoying to have to, it's like at least 2 twists of the wrist. I don't know. Let's switch back to another character here. Okay. What else can we do in here? Comment. So it does have a motion filter where it kind of changes your the way you move. So without the motion filter, it's kind of like completely, the IK is kind of like influenced completely by how I'm moving. With the motion filter, you can see it's a little bit softer. That's with, this is without. Let's do this. With. So you can see how it's a little bit more subtle there. Um, arm correction. I haven't seen this. Well, I'm not going to mess with those right now. 3D audio. Okay, so yeah, you can have different audio settings in case you have other people in the room. You can do that. So I've got a separate camera here for photos, and once I take one, then I can tweet it out. So I'm going to switch avatars here. Let's use one that's a little bit more likely to get people here. So question is, how do you change, how do I zoom in with this? Oh, okay. So one thing I just realized on the thumbstick, if I press up or down, left or right, I get different face emotions. So up, it's kind of like this sad face. Left is this like, oh wow, I'm super happy. I can't believe you stopped by. This one is kind of like a surprised, forced smile, and this one's like, I'm really pissed off. Can't believe it. But how do you? Okay. That's the most like anime thing I've ever seen. So we'll go to system, tweet. Select comment, live and virtual. Oh, okay. So in the settings, what you can actually do is that's so now I understand what they had set up there. Thanks. So in the settings, you can actually create custom tweets that you want, and then once you take a photo, you can select which tweet you want to go out with that option. So I'm going to try this one, and let's check on the Twitter. And there it is. Oops. Oh, shoot. This is kind of tricky because when I try to grab this thing, I can actually control the mouse, which I don't want to necessarily. But I guess it's useful in some ways. Okay, and then there's the tweet right there. Oops. Now it looks like it does automatically put in the hashtag for the software, as you can see, which, you know, that's fair. You want to advertise VirtualCast. But it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's the fact that you can do that. Now, if you could have more freedom over how you want this stuff to show up, I think that'd be great. But I can understand why you're limiting the options right now. Oops, that's not what I want. It's pretty sad. Oh, okay, nice. So you can actually use the thumbstick once you have your hand on this. That's what I was kind of hoping for. I really want to get into like the crypto art scene. The thing with me is that so I used to make like video art and all kinds of digital art, and now all this kind of virtual sculpting and assets and stuff like that. But as much as I enjoy making art, I also like research and I like learning the tools themselves, and that takes so much extra time to devote to, and then there's not much time left for art. So I'm trying to find that balance between um, being an artist and someone who's like a technologist, researcher. Um, but crypto art definitely makes me want to start producing some stuff, just simply because of the fact that you can have tokenized artwork. That was one of the things when I was doing digital art. I think like back in 2011, when I was doing glitch art back then. And this is before a lot of like glitch art apps were around. You kind of had to do it using Notepad or kind of glitching files in a more raw type of way. I was trying to sell prints of this stuff, and back then, at least where I was from, people were kind of like, "That's nice, but I'm not going to pay money for that." Now there's a market for it, and I think it might be time for me to explore that. Um, I can't wait. Personally, I can't wait to see when 3D assets that you can sculpt and things like that, you can model, are tokenized as well. And I know that's already a thing, but like I want to see a platform around that, because I think that would really change the game. If you could have your tokenized 3D models, then you could have your virtual world. You could showcase the models. The models themselves have that um, blockchain association to show ownership, proof of ownership, and then you have like true collectible artwork, and that's kind of what I would like to see this go. Because it's one thing to see your collection like in a browser, but if you could hold it, for me that would change the game. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna take a break because this was really just supposed to be a test stream. I had nothing planned for this, other than checking out the software um, and yeah, I like it so far. I mean, it's kind of like Streamlabs OBS in that it has a lot of the stuff there for you. Um, you don't have to build it yourself, and I kind of appreciate that. Like I said, as someone who's constantly digging into tools and finding out workflows and all this stuff, sometimes I don't leave myself enough time to just create. Um, Same goes for making videos. Editing videos takes a long time, and I'd rather just get the ideas out there than cut together a bunch of videos. So yeah. Um, but again, I appreciate custom solutions. I like when they're well done. Um, and I hope to explore more of those custom-made solutions, whether they're in Neos or VRChat or something else, because I think that's when you get something really really special. Because at that point there's like less barriers, right? You can kind of do whatever you want. Anyway, that's it for me. I still need to have like a stream ending. Panel that I can switch to. Switch to this one. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, stay safe, I guess. Stay safe, stay creative.